Good afternoon, Calgary Stampede. Beth Fabrizio from Rochester, New York. Lucas Oil 2022 Drum Corps International World Championship Preliminary Competition. Here we are. I am the music brass adjudicator, but I'm also a former band director / woodwind person. So I am so thrilled to see you and hear you in this capacity. This is exciting for us to be with all of you. Best of luck. I'm so looking forward to it. It is August 11th, by the way, 2022. Not that you didn't already know that. You're probably so excited to be here, too. All the best. Here we go, friends. Have an amazing run. Little Firebird. Lovely attention to detail from a phrase perspective. Nicely done. Pretty sound flutes. Yeah, I love this phrasing that's been established for the group. Pretty sound woodwinds. Good control of tempo. Change in meter. Good length of notes, baritones. Wow, good for you. Holy moly. Especially as we split and move up the line from the standpoint of harmonic structure. Nicely done. Very exciting. And good control as we're moving through time. Depth of sound, excellent from a balance perspective, section to section. Watch the pitch a little bit as we sustain here, mellows, especially in this territory. A little bit of a pitch discrepancy in the upper tessiture of mellophones, especially as we sustain. Good front end attack, good fundamental approach. Lovely sound in the upper tessitura trumpets. Nicely handled. Very, very nicely handled. Fun. Fun, fun. Great piece of literature. Not an easy one to perform. As we know, written for an orchestra, not a band. A little bit of a clarity issue from a front end perspective. That front end of the note, the initiation, a syllable that you use. Love the long phrase, however, here. And the growth dynamically, along with the double time with the feet. Nicely handled, woodwinds. Yeah, love the sound clarinets. Nicely handled and good intervallic work. Be cautious that we're using right hand down, open G and above to help facilitate that. Keep those chins nice and flat, clarinets all the way to the end. Nicely handled. Good for you. Pitch control. Sound tubas, that's not easy to do too. You're way out on that form. Environmental challenge there alone. Not easy. That syncopation. Keep that feel light as we play through that. great down upper tour tessitura flutes. Good control pitch-wise. With a body move. Nicely handled. Good for you. Control trumpets as we're on the move, especially at this tempo. So as we move through time and we're playing, especially as the parts become a little bit more split and varied harmonically, be cautious that we're understanding that control, especially in the lower tessitura and at the higher volume, dynamic volumes. We want to make sure that that tone color stays buoyant and resonant, and so be cautious of using pressure. Make sure it stays relaxed and you're utilizing the air, the aperture, and the embouchure adjustment. And I'm talking primarily to our brass performers right now, especially our high and mid voice brass and lower trumpet voicing. Sound for our brass, or our woodwind quintet, I should say. Saxophone choir. Nicely done. A little bit of a pitch discrepancy. Tenor sax that tends to be a little bit sharper to the groove. Very common, very common. Lovely contoured line there. Again, watching the performers, there's such excitement and you can tell great training going on. Be careful that we continue to think about how we take our breaths in and that approach to breathing on a consistent basis, versus grabbing that quick breath and a very shallow breath. Great control of tempo. And then the release point low brass, especially tubas. Be careful that we don't get that whipped or that lifted release. You want that resonance to be there on a regular basis. Lovely descending line. Woo! Little West Side Story. Good control. As we went to our knees, trumpets, again, watch that airstream in that core, making sure that we're really controlling the embouchure all the way down. So we were talking a little bit earlier about the use of air, making sure that we've got that air really there for no matter what we're doing. That relaxed approach and really taking up. If we don't play for long periods of time, think about how we're utilizing that air. Lots of physical and environmental challenges. Little transitionary opportunities, huh, tubas? Pretty. Nicely handled, guys. Pretty sound backfield. New tempo, and it's aggressive. Dynamic structure as they come in here. So they're running physically across. I love the fact that they're coming in a little bit on the softer dynamic level, but kind of it's almost like reaffirming that level of dynamic structure to make sure they know where they are on the field and what that is. Love the length of note on this move. Lots of body movement, a great style, great buoyant style here, nicely handled. The dance moves are great. Good length of note, good movement through time. Baritones, watch the pitch of these as you sustain through time. Make sure that you're not closing down or controlling. Careful, tuba. Somebody's getting a little excited back there. Don't go beyond what you're capable of. You don't want to distort. You want that resonance there consistently, that sonority. Good length of note as we build and develop through. And we're back to Stravinsky. Good length of note, trombones. Yeah, length of note, baritone trombones, not as consistent at times. Be cautious of that length. Great value in upper mellophones. Watch that pitches be sustained, especially on the move at a fast rate of speed, core and air. I love the body movement. That recapitulation back to the front. Wow, how cool is that? I got out of the way just in time. First of all, it's such a joy to have you with us. What an absolute joy and great opportunity to hear and see this ensemble in this light and in this format. So thank you for being here, and kudos. It's a great opportunity. So thank you for being here. It's wonderful. There's so many well-trained musicians. It's that consistency when you put together such a pageantry portion of what you're doing to make sure to maintain that consistency across the board. And you're doing so many things so well from a fundamental standpoint. It's so lovely to see so much great music education going on. When we're on the fly and we're moving at that great rate of speed, it's that quality and that consistency from the front end of the note at times, and I talked a little bit about that. But I think the biggest component, something I can just pass along to you that you probably work on all the time, is that consistency of air, how we take air in and then how we use air on every woodwind and brass instrument that we have. That consistency regardless of the dynamic structure, and that consistency regardless of the stylistic structure. So I think that would be the biggest thing that as you continue to grow and develop this lovely group, that I would continue to put in place, regardless, again, softer dynamic levels, fuller dynamic levels. I think sometimes people really want to overexert because they're so excited. And again, going back and retraining to really truly understand how the air works within that, I think is a huge component for all of you. And I'm not sure how much you guys sing in your rehearsals and how much that's a part of the fundamental approach as well, but it would be something added extra that I would also. Woodwind sound is lovely. It's a nice balance within the sections, regardless of the structure that you utilize from a standpoint of staging at times. The only other thing that I would mention is tenor sax voicing is sharp to the group, whether it be within the choir, the woodwind choir, or within your small choir. Again, the students play very well. It's just the nature of the beach. Tenor has a tendency to play on the sharper side. So there's lots of ways to adjust that from either mouthpiece adjustment, reeds adjustment, etc. But again, guys, great performance. Thank you so much for being here. Best of luck.